In case you missed it, here's a Sports Animal Rewind.
Here with Tennessee running backs Coach Robert Gillespie. Coach, if you could, let's kind of go one by one with your guys and just give me a little picture of where these guys are. Let's start with Rajon Neal. Where is he at and how has he improved in camp?
He's obviously he's took major strides from the spring. He's done the best job of the group of staying healthy. So he's probably gotten the most reps out of anyone. So, I mean, you can definitely tell he's a guy that's taken a lot of reps throughout the spring and leading into the fall. So, the main thing with Rajon getting here was just trying to make him really understand what a true SEC running back has to do, which is fight for the extra yards. And, so far he's done it so far in camp. Still has some work to do on pass protection, a few things that he and I have sat down and talked about. So, but attitude's been great so far.
With this offensive line and the potential having holes and a lot of opportunities, how big is selecting the right hole in your run game, do you think?
To see and identify what's going on up front is huge. In this league, those holes close within a second. I tell my backs all the time, the difference in a average running back and a great one is the guys who can get to that hole. I mean, everyone sees that hole, but the difference is the guys that can get to it. And in this league, those holes close fast. So we have to do a great job training our eyes pre-snap to anticipate what's going to happen up front, and also trusting the blocking schemes. And I think that's one thing that we have really gotten better at, is having a lot of faith in our offensive line. Obviously one of the best in the conference and in the nation. So I think we have a big trust in the guys up front, and the backs have been doing a really good job just training their eyes pre-snap.
I've heard Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk say a number of times, it's not quick to the hole, it's quick through the hole. Do you believe in that, and explain that?
No doubt, and that's where I get my philosophy. I heard Barry Sanders said one time, I think a reporter asked him, what makes you different? And he said, I see the same holes that everyone else sees. I can just get to them. And I think that's all the time, as we watch film as a unit, we hit the pause button and we just say, hey, does everyone see it? And they say, yes, sir. Now the thing is, can you get to it and through it? So I really think that's the biggest difference. That, anyone who's played the position, including myself, has been able to see those holes. But, the great ones are able to put their foot in the ground, get their shoulders turned, and get to it. So those are a lot of things we talk about. And like I said, in this league, those holes are going fast. So we have to make sure that we are anticipating the cuts and also putting our foot in the ground and getting north-south when we see them.
Talk about Marlon Lane, where he's at and areas that he's improved and things you're still working on.
Everyone's asked that question about what's the biggest difference in him from the spring, and I think he's appreciative. I think anytime that you're forced to be away from what you love and also be around the teammates and the brotherhood, I think he's very appreciative to be back. He's been working really hard. He spent a lot of the off season watching film and just trying to become a smarter football player. And it's evident, in the way he plays. I mean, he's making really good cuts, playing behind his pads, probably the best in pass protection so far throughout fall camp. So, obviously I'm glad to have him back, and we are as an offense, because he gives us a lot of depth.
How big is that in this offense, pass protection, in terms of who gets on the field?
It's huge. I tell the guys all the time, I mean, the guys that can, protect the quarterback are the guys that's going to play. What you do running the ball should be something that's ingrained in you from birth. I mean, that's something that I can't give to you, but the thing about a great running back is the guy that can protect the quarterback. We talk all the time about the two most important things that we do as a running back is protect the football and protect the quarterback. If we can do those things, and the guys that show that they can do that, then they'll be given the reward of running the football.
A lot of teams, including you, do a lot out of the pistol. How does the pistol formation help the running game?
I think it just allows the back to play a little bit deeper. So often teams have gone away from being true under center football teams, and the running backs at 7 yards. Everybody's in the gun, so everybody's around, all the backs around 5.5 yards. So I think just going to the pistol allows the back to have a 2-yard buffer. A little bit more time to make that read before that hole closes or adjusts. So I think a lot of times it just makes the backs a little bit more comfortable to have that 2-yard buffer in between them.
Talk about Alden Hill, his progress, things he needs to work on.
Alden has a ways to go. He's a young guy, and I constantly have to remind him that he has to be patient. And I tell him all the time, and this is the truth, that a lot of the great running backs had to become great special teams players first. I think that's where Alden Hill is going to, taste a little blood in the water. That's where he'll gain some confidence. That's where the teammates and the coaches will gain some confidence in him as an offensive player by first showing he can help us by covering kicks, playing punt team, kickoff return team, some of those things. But overall, he still has a long ways to go, but he just has to keep a positive attitude and keep working hard, and his chance will come.
What about Tom Smith?
Same thing with Tom. Tom's the guy that's been around here for a long time, and he has to be a guy that gets his feet wet as a special teams player. So far, he's really bought into it. He's one of the bright spots that Coach Jones has called out in several meetings about just working hard on special teams, being a guy that has to play punt team, and I think it's carried over into the offensive side of it. He's been running the ball harder than he ever has. This spring we didn't see him much. He had a pulled hammy, but so far, man, he's been working hard and really showing up on special teams, and I think it's going to carry over through the fall.
How will you guys handle who gets in the game, the rotation in game? Is that your call, pre-plan it? How will you work that?
Well, some of it will go off game plan. I mean, this fall has allowed us to see who's good at what, and that's one luxury that we have at the running back position, that there's several guys that can do different things, and just trying to convince those guys that, hey, you just find your role and we'll find a way to get you on the field. So I think, when it comes to short yardage, a guy's trying to step out and be that guy. When it comes to running, who's going to be the receiving back out of the backfield, who's going to be the short yardage goal line guy. So I think that keeps the group hungry to know that we need different kind of running backs. So I think those guys control what positions that they're in or when they go in the game. I mean, if you want to be the guy on 3rd and 1 that we put in the game, you got to show it in fall camp. If you want to be the guy that catches the screens and we move out on the perimeter, you have to show that you can do those things. So I tell the guys, we don't control how much you play. You do.
Working out a Wildcat, is that something that falls under your instruction? How does that work? Because there's a lot of different aspects to that.
Well, you know what? I mean, I think first and foremost, if you're a team that does do some Wildcat things, you have to be able to trust that guy, because that guy doesn't have a lot of time to work, in that position, at the quarterback position, the sending guys in motion, the handoff. So it's really a guy that the whole entire offense has to really trust, whether it's a receiver, or running back, or a guy you move over from the defensive side. So, we're really starting on the ground level of our offense. We hadn't taken it to that level yet. I think those are some things that this staff did, previous years at the last school, but once they've been there a little while. And right now we're just trying to get the guys confident in this offense, and then we can build on it later.
What did you think of the new uniforms that were just unveiled, especially the gray on gray, the Smokies?
You know what, man? I've always loved the Tennessee uniforms. I mean, the great tradition of the tee and just the orange and the colors and just everything about it. I think adding the gray definitely creates some excitement. We were able to pull from the past and bring it back into today's game, and I think our kids are fired up about it. Obviously, it helps in recruiting. Our phones have been ringing off the hook all day from kids wanting pictures about it and tweeting and talking about it. So it helps us in a lot of ways, and I think it'll help us with these last few days of fall camp, and the guys are energized and pumped up about it. So hopefully we go out there and put a great product on, and hopefully it gives our guys some energy and fuel once we go out there and play on Saturdays.
So you believe in that? If your players feel like they look good, they like what they're wearing, that could translate onto the field?
I think so. I think it just gives guys confidence. I think it makes guys get excited. That as coaching staff and as a university, we pay attention to the little details of it. So I think anytime you add something new into a program that still sticks close to the tradition, I think it creates a buzz and excitement.
Coach, great to talk to you. Thanks for your time. Good luck.
Thank you. No problem.
That's Robert Gillespie joining us here at Tennessee Media Day.